With our realistic fiction stories first grade, we are really focused on ways in which we can bring our stories to life. Yesterday, we talked about when our characters get in trouble, we can use two strategies of using dialogue to have our characters say how they are feeling, and we can unfreeze our characters and make them move by sharing their actions in both the words and the pictures. Well, today we are going to think about our fourth page in our book, which is how we get our characters out of trouble. And we are going to be looking at a strategy today called telling this in small steps, okay? So I want us to think about when you go to see a movie or read a really great book, they tell that story in small steps. They don't give everything away in just one page. So it would be really boring if you went to go watch a movie and they introduced a big problem and then all of a sudden they solved it and the movie was over and it was 5 minutes long. That wouldn't be any fun. So I want us to think back to the book by Kevin Henkes called Owen, which we read a lot in the beginning of the year. And I put the picture on the screen here just to remind us. Remember, the problem in the story was that Owen wanted to keep carrying his blanket around, his yellow fuzzy blanket, but his parents thought he was getting too old for it. Now, Kevin Henkes didn't just solve this problem at one page and then our story was done. He was able to tell steps to the solution over many pages, and it was actually really funny and interesting for the reader to think about that, right? Let's think about some of the ways that Kevin Henkes did that. He said that his parents dipped the corner of the blanket into some vinegar, that they tried to convince Owen that there is a blanket fairy and they could take the blanket in the middle of the night. And they did all these things to try to get the blanket away from Owen. And then finally they came up with a solution where they made handkerchiefs out of pieces of the blanket. And so by telling the steps to the solution across pages, it made it more interesting. They didn't just give it away right off the bat and then we were bored and the story was over really fast. So today we are going to be trying this out. So today I want to teach you that readers love when you tell how characters get out of trouble in an interesting way. You are still going to use our three main ideas of bringing our stories to life through actions, dialogue, and feelings. So hopefully on your page where you're getting your character out of trouble, you are using actions of what that character is doing. You are using dialogue of telling me what the characters are saying, and feelings is telling me how they are feeling while they're getting out of trouble and finding a solution. And so this is what I don't want you to do. On our fourth page of our book, which is the page we're working on today, I don't want this to be the last page of your book, right? You're not going to merge how the character gets in trouble with your final page, okay? And I want this page to be full of steps that the character takes to get out of trouble, just like with Kevin Henkes and Owen. And so, for example, if your book had a problem of losing a pet, you're not just going to magically find the pet and that's how we get our character out of the problem or out of trouble. We have to say the steps, like, did you make a poster? Did you draw a picture of the cat or the animal and put it up? Did you go around the neighborhood and call its name over and over again? What were all the things that you did? Or if you wrote a book where the trouble was that there was a scary storm, well, the storm just didn't go away and you were fine at the end. What did you do? Did you hide under your covers? Did you go to your mom and dad? Did you turn on music so you couldn't hear how heavy the rain was? What were the steps that you took? And another one, let's say your trouble is you fell down and you got hurt. Well, what could you do? Did you go to your mom and dad? Did you get a Band-Aid? Did you get a paper towel if you got hurt? Did you have to go to the doctor? Did you have to get an x-ray? What are all the steps that it took to get out of trouble, okay? Now, we are going to take a look at Mila's book again, so I'm going to hide on the screen so we can see Mila's story. And so we are going to take a look at the page, her fourth page, where they are getting out of trouble. So remember in Mila's story, there was an earthquake. And yesterday she shared that page where it was, there was an earthquake, the ground was shaking, and her horse Snowflake was neighing. And now we're going to think, we're on page 4 where it's how do they get out of trouble. So it says, Lily jumped on her horse. Snowflake galloped back to the house. By the time they got there, it was all over. Nay, Lily's horse was happy. So you can hear she gave steps. Step 1, she jumped on her horse. Step 2, the horse galloped back to the house. Then, by the time they got there, they were feeling much happier, and she had the horse use some dialogue. So she used all 3 of our examples of bringing our story to life on her page today. And so this is what I want us to be thinking about when we are doing our fourth page today. So in Seesaw, you have a blank page for page number 4. So you're going to get out your pre-write, and you're going to look at how you get your character out of trouble. Then you're going to tell me step by step, how did that character get out of trouble? Don't give it all away and just be like, the storm is over, everything was fine, off we go. What exactly did you do to make it interesting and bring it to life, okay? So I'm very excited to read how your character gets out of trouble. Tomorrow we're going to meet and think about how can we end our story in a satisfying way to our reader? How can we tell how we feel and what lessons we can learn from our characters? So I will see you back here tomorrow, first grade. Have a great day. Bye.